Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching my video. It means a lot to me. Unfortunately, I left some text at the top of the screen. It says ask me something. I left that for when I was streaming over on Twitch. Feel free to check me out. It would mean a lot. I stream DbD, I stream Call of Duty, Minecraft, a bunch of games. Nothing's off limits. Anyway, apologies once more. I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye. Hello, all my silly geese out there. Welcome to a very easy to know and understand guide to the newest killer, the First, aka Henry, aka Vecna from Stranger Things. Look at him right there in his glory. Now, I'm going to go over his power, a little bit of mind games to help you get better, and I'm going to show you some of the perks that I run. Now, my main build I run is I'm All Ears, Lethal Pursuer, Pain Resonance, and Dead Man Switch. Now, our reading on this killer is very great. I recommend going our reading with a little bit of slowdown. But for right now, let's just worry about the power and show you how he works and get right into the game. All right, here we are in Macmillan Estate, just for simplicity's sake. He actually is much better in indoor maps with aura reading, but forget that right now. So as you can see in the bottom of the screen, his main power is the Vine attack, and when you pull it up, it's going to be this red circle. As you heard when I pulled it up, you heard that little shing. That noise, that lets any survivor in a certain radius of you know you are using this ability. Now, once used, it is a delayed attack, like that. So, while that might not have felt very delayed, I promise when you're chasing a survivor and they're running, putting it right on them or behind them, they might run right out of it. So, they have a little bit of time to get out of it, so you kind of want to put it ahead of the survivor where you think they're gonna be rather than where they are. That is completely thrown out the window if they lock themselves in an animation. A survivor vaults this window, put it right on the window. Survivor goes right onto this pallet, put it a little bit ahead of them, and if they throw that pallet, you hit them. Or they have to dodge back, in which case you cancel and you take the hit. I don't see why they would dodge back out of it, but if you're running them to the pallet, just don't get stunned. If you get stunned, then that gives them ample time to get away. Now, that being said, interestingly, you can get stunned and use your power at the same time. It is very, very interesting. You can... It's a last-second thing that you can do, but you can absolutely get stunned and press the release at the same time, and you can, wherever you're wherever you are looking when you got stunned, it will go. Now, what hitting a survivor with this does is, well, let me show you. When I hit 11 here, I missed. No, we're going to leave her. When I hit Nancy here, you're going to see her little character icon in the bottom left of the screen. It's going to gain a token. I don't know why 11's running away, but we'll do it with 11 too. Now, as you saw, I hit both of them one time. Nothing happened. If I hit one character 2 times, though, as you see, the screen gets red and dark, and a timer at the top of the screen will appear. That is to let you know you are in the undergate mode, or the what's it called? The yeah, undergate mode. No, world breaker mode. Sorry about that. This is world breaker mode. While in world breaker mode, instead of applying a token to a survivor, you actually will deal outright damage to the survivor. That goes for anybody without a token and anybody with a token. You will deal damage with the Vine attack. Now, to get in this mode, there are 2 or 3 prerequisites that need to be met before you get into this mode. 1, you hit a survivor 2 times with the Vine attack. That will get you into World Breaker mode. 2, you hit 2 separate survivors, I believe, multiple times. I think you would actually have to hit at least 1 survivor 2 times, but I believe I've activated it on 2 separate survivors as long as they have a token stack. That is a bit skeptical. I'm not entirely sure. But I know that I have activated it off of 2 separate survivors multiple times. Now, that being said, if a survivor has 4 stacks, 4 World Breaker tokens, which is that little red bar on the left side over Nancy and Eleven's face, that is your World Breaker stack. Once that hits 4 stacks, 1 hit from the Vine attack will immediately put you into the World Breaker mode. Now, alternatively, you have a secondary power, which is called the traversing of the upside down, or the undergate. That is actually what it's called, the undergate. Now, if I go into the undergate, which is control for me, I'm not sure what it would be for PlayStation or Xbox, but control for me, you hear that noise, that little whimsical noise, that is heard map wide. I'll play it again after I get out of this, but while in the undergate mode, as you can see, I am in third-person camera. I move quite fast, and I'm undetectable. There's no terror radius. Now, even though I'm undetectable, if you listen, hear that little, like, whooshing noise? All survivors can hear that. They can know you're moving. Alternatively, if I sit still, silence. You don't hear anything. While your little tentacles will come up out of the ground to let survivors know that you're where you are sitting still at, you are completely silent. So if you are planning ahead, right? Somebody's has been working on this main gen. You hide because you saw them run out that door right there. And then you wait, they come back. You see them running back. Wait for them to get inside and maybe cut to this left side of this box. Then use it. You most likely will get the hit. They can't outrun that. However, normally, if you are chasing a running survivor with the undergate ability, then they will outpace you. So you kind of have to mind game them. If you see a survivor running in a straight line in the undergate, then run ahead of them and double back really quickly. And if they turned around, they lost all momentum, you most likely will get the hit. It's a little tricky to pull off. It takes a little bit of practice, but if you try it, I promise you, you will see value. Now let's go, once again, that noise, by the way, is map wide, that entering the portal noise. Now let's go into it again though, and we're gonna go right up to Nancy, and we're gonna use it. Bam. Now what happened there is she got an immediate 2 tokens to the World Breaker. If you look at her icon, she's now at 3, whereas before I hit her with that, she was at 1. Because I hit her and she got an immediate 2 stacks, that enters the World Breaker mode immediately, so I can start hitting people and damaging them with this ability. To get people out of this, to get the killer out of World Breaker as fast as possible, there are 4 grandfather clocks around the map. The survivors can see the aura when they are close by to one. They are white, but they look like this, and a survivor can go right up to it and start making that timer tick down way, way faster than normal. However, as you can see at the clock at the top of that screen, the hand is in a little bit of it's like a vine over that portion of the clock. And that is the area that the survivors at bare minimum will have to outlast, and they cannot get out of fast enough. Like, they will have to wait that out. Now, that may seem like a little bit of time. That is a lot of time to have. So if you are pressuring the survivors so much to the point where they can't even interact with grandfather clocks, which I've had games like that, you have this ability for so long. And having this ability for so long, you can take the most free pot shots of your existence and most likely will hit them. See how 11 is hugging that wall? That's because she's really trying to avoid getting hit by this. But because I just held it, I still hit her. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter. A nice thing is, like, because of that aura reading, that my I'm all ears perk, I saw her aura, I could just hit right on top of her. Very, very free. Now, one thing to note is if a survivor hides in a locker, if a survivor hides in a locker, then no matter what, this ability, you can't hit them. You cannot hit them in the locker unless they're in the animation of getting into the locker or getting out. You will not hit them and get anything from that. Alongside the undergate ability, this won't hit the survivor in the locker. So don't try that. Just if they get in a locker, cancel your ability, just grab them out of the locker. Or if they jump out, just hit them. I will say, never prioritize taking your power hit over getting a normal melee hit, unless you're in the World Breaker mode. I would say, well, if you can get the hit, get the hit. But if they're going to dodge, like flick like that, perfect. Like, see how she tried to dodge me, but she went right into it. You just got to be kind of patient about your about using your ability, and you should be okay. Now, the distance is obviously limited. Like, I'm aiming as far as I can right there. That is the furthest I could go from right here. But you're not really trying to go for distance unless you're like okay with taking having the knowledge that you're gonna miss the shot. I wouldn't go for distance, but it is very fun too, because when they're at such a distance, they play a little bit less predicting. So, I mean, a little bit more predicting because they try to play safe. Like, I'm at this distance and I was chasing a survivor right here. Put it on the wall. Maybe I hit them. Most likely, I could hit them right there. Especially if I saw them running this way, in this loop specifically. Put it right there. Most likely, I hit them because they have to wrap around this wall. It's very strong. Well, I'm just going to take control of Nancy real quick, and I'm going to go get the save on the 11 so she doesn't die. But predicting your killer, your survivors, is very, very much needed. That's why running aura reading currently is great to do, because it takes away having to predict. However, it helps you understand more the survivors and their play. Like right there, because she vaulted that window, I got a free vine attack hit. I was at max range and I still got that because she vaulted that window. Does not matter. If they lock themselves into animation, you will get the hit. A little bit of a little like helping tip. In the undergate ability, you can go right off of edges. Right off of them. Doesn't matter. Nothing slows you down in this ability besides objects directly. However, windows, you can go right under. Pallets, you can go right under if they were dropped. There's breakable walls, you can go right through. There's nothing that stops you besides, like, objects, like gens and barriers. Now, I'm running an add-on, so when I use this, it's going to break the generator for me and start regressing it. Very nice little... That's the brown add-on right there. Very nice, very helpful. And with that green add-on, I see the aura of survivors that I hit when I'm not in World Breaker. It is the Gutted Supercom and the Shattered Wrist Rocket. Lethal Pursuer extends the aura of all my aura reading perks, so that's why I run that. It's not needed, though, but it's helpful to run. We will... We'll chase 11 here and just show it off a little bit. See how she's hugging tight? She's running this very tight. She throws pallet. Oh wow, bots are so stupid, man. I'm gonna give her a little bit of distance. She throws that. She doesn't throw it. Okay, so we know she's running this loop. We're gonna place it right there. I get that hit. Immediately entering World Breaker. Because she threw that, I mean, I get that hit immediately as well. Inevitable. Now, you can very, very easily get an immediate back-to-back vine hit. You recover your ability fast enough to where hitting them and damaging them, yes, if they don't run straight, like as far away as possible, let me move Nancy. If they don't run straight and as far away as possible, you can get a double hit immediately. Hit her there, she starts running, and I just am following. Bam, double hit. If they run straight, like straight shot. Now, because of this green add-on, hitting a survivor with the vine attack not in World Breaker mode is you can almost always get the double tap because I'll hit them not in the World Breaker mode, see their aura as they run, and with Lethal Pursuer, normally it's 1.5 seconds, which is like nothing, but with Lethal Pursuer, it's 3.5 seconds, which is surprisingly a lot. Your power comes back before that timer is up. So once World Breaker's up and you hit them, you see their aura, you see where they're running to, if they stop or anything like that, and you can snipe them. You can snipe them very fast. It's all about positioning your camera to have it right where you need it. And once you get good at that, you are basically unstoppable with this killer. Alongside prediction shots, if you get good at hitting those, unstoppable with this killer. I believe I went over this, but I can't remember exactly. So the blue aura of this circle is where your vines will not be possible to hit a survivor. Right? Actually, I believe that might, but I don't think it will. And if it can, you most likely would not get that in an actual game where they hit right there. However, certain scenarios, like right here, that blue on that window, if they slow vaulted it, that would still hit. Right there, that would still hit because the circle's right there. See where that little bit of red is? That blue is also there. I don't know why it's like that, but that blue, it's still right there. So it's weird like that. But if you put it on a gen, for example, that blue, if that was a 4-man gen, it does not matter. Place it. It will hit if there are survivors on it. One thing I've wanted to try is undetectable. I haven't yet, but I feel like it could be good with that. So we're gonna hook Nancy here. World Breaker starts immediately on the 4th stack and onward. We're gonna hook her, get 11 to come back to rescue, hopefully. And one thing you could do, off of a hook, go into your Traverse the Upside Down, the Undergate mode, and if it's like 1 gen left, patrol these gens. You go so fast that you can make up all the distance that the survivors make, right? I wanted to get close enough to show it breaking that pallet, but it's okay. I'm all ears, shows me her. I would love to hit that, but I mean, I don't want to kill her yet. Oh, you know what? Actually, one thing to know, I think I've gone over just about everything here. The blue, you can be a lot more sparing than you think, though. Blue isn't bad. If they're running at this door, right? They're hugging, or no, they're running at this window, right? I'm inside, and they wrap around for some, whatever reason. This is just hypothetical. I'm running, I'm right here. They're wrapping towards the window, and I have it like this, where that blue, just take it. Just take it. You'll hit that. Doesn't even matter. The blue is not going to be a hindrance because you're shooting on the outside anyway. Same with if you were shooting inside. You just want to take the shot that'll give you the most out of it. Now, if they're hugging shack or hugging a wall and you're outside, you kind of want it to be like this. If you can see a little bit of blue, you know you're against the wall, you're still going to hit a majority while they're hugging it. That's kind of like the shot you want to take. You don't want to take it like that because the little bit right there, all they have to do is step a foot to the right and you're not going to hit them, you know? So you kind of want to avoid that. But let's hit 11 here, and she's on 4 stacks of the World Breaker, and she's on Death Hook. So this is what will happen when we hit her. I thought she was going to run for some reason. When we hit her, don't teabag me. She's going to go into this floating stance, and if I walk up to her, I can do Mind Break. Unfortunate pallet placement, but you still got to see the R anyway, or the Mori anyway. The quick Mori, just like Pyramid Head, it will deal an immediate Mori and get you on your way very fast. That is only able to be done when they have 4 tokens and are on Death Hook. For example, Nancy here, 1 hook. She's the last survivor of the game. She still has 4 tokens. I enter it. Sorry, I forgot I had to enter it. Nothing. Get nothing. Now, when a survivor is on hook, you normally come out of this ability. It takes about 3 seconds, we'll say, to get out of that ability and deal that area of effect damage. Same with this. It takes about a second to 2 for that to actually give its effect and give the hit. However, if you have a hook survivor, it drastically increases the time needed to get that hit. Obviously, to prevent tunneling / camping, you can't place it on a hooked survivor when somebody's going to the unhook and counter them. You can place it. It will just take, I want to say like 10 to 15 seconds before this will activate. And for the upside down effect on a hooked survivor, if you use it, it will take like straight up like 10 seconds as well to 15 to activate that. I might be a little bit shooting, but it will give them so much time to gain distance and get away with the unhook, to the point where honestly countering it is, if they use it and they're right on your ass, if they're chasing you to the hook and they are in the undergate ability, take the unhook. They will not get you in time. You will be able to run out of it and you'll be safe completely. 9 times out of 10, you will be safe to get the unhook if they're in the undergate and they try to camp hook like that. And this, like that, yeah, just take the unhook as well. You'll see it is white as killer. It's white when you do this to show you're gonna have a delayed effect. It's not like the blue. It is purely white. And if you place it, all you will see is that circle. You'll see the circle, not the tentacles, but that circle. You'll see that placed, letting you know it will go off after a delay. I've tried to use that delay just to see if I can get a hit, and I've yet to get a hit yet because it's so easy to just dodge that. And you can't really time it because they'll see the circle on the ground, so they just won't go for it. And if it's on a hook, they'll just take the unhook and run off, unless you plan ahead and you place it and run them into it, which I've tried and I still have not gotten any use out of doing that. But that just about sums up this killer and his power. I may have left out a little bit of tricks and tips, but from what I have recalled, I believe that is all you really need to know to get going on this killer. Obviously, lockers again, you can't hit in. And like I said, try to prioritize taking the hit, like your normal melee hit, over this. I will say in the start of the match, when there's 5 gens, try to get your tokens up. You really do want to get your tokens up, but what I will say is don't prioritize getting to 4 stacks over the normal, 2 or 3. It's okay. It's great to get to 4, and most likely you'll have at least 1 survivor at 4 stacks, but just hitting them twice or hitting 2 survivors differently, just getting into World Breaker mode, that is the mission. You don't need the tokens, but because I have them, it's great to get the quick Mori with, but you do not need to get the hits. Mind gaming, they will always try to dodge back towards you. I'm actually gonna let this I'm gonna let the Nancy wiggle off just so I have a little bit more time to go over mind gaming. But so just give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so mind gaming real quick, because I believe I didn't really go over this. Survivors are always going to try to mind game you. So if they're running right to that pallet and they hear that noise, they hear it, they're going to dodge. They're going to dodge back, try to cut around wide to avoid me getting the hit. Because what might happen in your games is they're running at the pallet, you pull up, and you immediately place thinking, okay, they're going to go right to pallet, so I'm going to place ahead of them and get that hit immediately. So you immediately place, and then, what happened? They dodged around, and now instead of running this loop, they are just gaining distance. Because yes, you don't slow down much when using it. You right there, you actually do slow down a good amount, but if you're chasing them, you don't lose that much distance realistically. But because I'm this far back, I took a sniper shot, they dodged, they just kept running. And holding W against this killer is pretty strong. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to outthinking their outthinking of you. So I'm running a survivor here. They're running right headstrong into that pallet, but they've been all game, they've been dodging this attack. So knowing that they've been dodging this attack every chance they hear it, they're playing very smart against it. They're not letting themselves get hit. They're going to assume, because you've been using your power all game just right on top of them and they've been dodging it, they're going to assume, okay, I know the killer's going to immediately put it on this pallet. So what do? Put it a little off to the right. Put it on top of them, most likely. Because, like, if they're running to the pallet, they're going to cut right. You put it right there. That's going to hit. They're going to try to double back. That's going to hit. And if you are unsure about doing that, a great thing you can do, just hold it. Hold it. You'll watch them double back as you are walking towards them. They'll double back as you're walking towards them. Then they might try to run to a different spot. But what does that do? That pushes them off of a pallet. If I'm running a survivor right here and they don't want to get hit by this pallet, they're gonna know if they lock this animation by throwing this pallet, then they're gonna get hit by the vines. So what are they gonna do? They're just gonna run away. So I walk right through the pallet, and then I have the loop available again to get another possible hit. You know? Or I'm walking, they don't throw it, and then I just snipe. I see where they ran to, and I prediction shot right there. Maybe I get the hit, maybe I don't. If you don't, then they're still on the loop, so you get another chance. And if you do, then great, you get the hit. So and on the topic of this, you can force survivors very easily into lose-lose situations where you get the hit guarantee. I've done it multiple times, and it is one of my favorite tricks right now. They mind game you, so they dodge. They dodge out of this when they hear that. But say I was like right on top of them here, and I go for the hit. I'm running. They're right here, okay, right in front of me. They don't want to throw pallet because I get the hit, so they dodge back a little. But they can't dodge here because I've blocked it. They can't get past me. So they are smushed into this pallet. Either they throw it and I get the hit, or they don't and I get the hit because they're in the pallet. All you want to do is not be in the pallet where they can stun you. Right here, they are in a lose-lose, almost guaranteed. It is, you place it, if they're sitting in the middle of the pallet, place it right here. They're going to dodge a little bit back, trying to think like, okay, they're going to place it right on top of the pallet. But realistically, you place it just a little bit back, and they couldn't make any distance. Because they dodged towards me. I'm hoping this makes sense, by the way. Because they dodged towards me to outpace my vine attack originally, right here. Okay, I'm going to go over this very slowly. The survivor's right here. I pull this up. They dodge back because they thought I was going to put it ahead. So they dodge back. They're now in this grass right here, while my aim is right here, okay? So they think I'm putting it here. They're in this grass right here. Instead of placing it, I hold it, and I walk towards them. Because I am forcing them to lose that distance, if they stay on top of me, I just place it right on top of me. If they stand still, I place it right on us. If I'm walking towards them, though, I can hold them here. If they throw that pallet, it doesn't hit me, and I get the hit because they lock themselves in an animation. But if they don't throw it, they have to commit to running forward here because it's a straight shot, right? So I have them smushed in this pallet. They have to run straight for a little bit, and all you need is a little bit of time. Either they go that way or that way, but because they were on top of the pallet when they dodged towards me, I now just have to place it right there because they ran straight, and then I get the hit guarantee. They can't cut right in time. They can't go straight in time. I will get the hit guarantee as long as I push them into this. It might be easier to show you on, like, Shack, for example, because I'm running... A lot of survivors will hug the wall tight on Shack, so I ready it, and maybe from inside, I'll say, actually. This has happened multiple times. They run through this door. You have the power up. They know if they hit window, they will get hit because they lock themselves in animation. So they will almost always try to run pallet or try to like spin in this room and constantly move so you can't hit them. So if that's the case, this is a win situation. They hit window, boom, you get that. If they run to pallet, you just have to place it ahead of where they're going to be, and you hit that. If they are spinning in a circle in this room, try to maneuver yourself to where you are on this side, where they are spinning over here. Cancel your power, and then just take the hit. They can't get pallet in time. They can't get window. At worst, they run out that door, but if they do that, they get hit because you're on them already. The worst case scenario, I would say the best option for Survivor here is run through pallet. Either they have to... You don't throw it, and he maybe misses because they didn't predict right, and you ran through, you cut left, and you got right out of that, or they try to predict, you get out of this. They go like you go behind a wall maybe, and they think they're there, but then you cut back, you throw pallet, and then the killer now has to break pallet, go around, or something like that. But it is still very easy for the killer to get the hit when running into Shack. Honestly, I think Shack with this killer is easy to win. But yeah, so just try your mind games, try just predicting shots. Don't be afraid to lose your first few games maybe, or getting 2Ks. Just get a bearing on the killer. In my opinion, he was very easy to pick up and learn with the without a crosshair or anything, because this is just, you don't need a crosshair. Obviously, you don't need to like, oh man, I'm looking here, where's it gonna be? I'm looking at the furthest distance. You know, like I just tried to go further. Nope, can't. If you're looking where like straight ahead, you're looking at the furthest distance. So you don't even have to though. Looking straight at the ground, you can just immediately guide it, right? I don't know how this killer runs on console, but I will say the survivor does not see the circle, only the killer does. But the survivor can, like, that's right next to him. They see it immediately though when you press it. But anyway, that being said, I would say we have basically covered just about everything. Aura reading is going to be your best friend for this killer, definitely. With a little bit of slowdown. But anyway, here's the Mori.
Perfect little Nancy.
Honestly, that's all you're really going to need to know. Our reading is great on him. My main build I have for him currently is this right here. Dead Man Switch, Lethal Pursuer, I'm All Ears, and Pain Resonance. I got into a match with a couple survivors not too long ago, and I smoked them. They said that this is meta. I have no clue. I put this build together myself, and it works fantastically. I know Pain Resonance and Dead Man Switch are strong perks to begin with. But this killer, since he rides so hard off of Aura reading, these two Aura reading perks, I'm All Ears and Lethal Pursuer, they are so strong with this killer that you kind of are able to afford having 2 extra slowdowns, that it is very good. I could see Discordance being great. I could see anything really R reading. Nurse's Calling, even maybe. You see them. You see their R where they're standing, and when they're healing. I mean, and maybe you get the hit. Maybe you just get the knowledge that you know there's survivors right there. I would pair that with an Undetectable over anything. Nowhere to Hide, the Night perk, is another good one. I ran into a Vecna against, and I immediately clocked it because I was like, "There's no way he knew I was hiding there," and it will be a great counter perk to any survivor that hides around you while you kick a gen. But anyway, there's just a couple R rating perks. I hope this video came through very clear and concise. It's my first ever guide on a killer. I hope to make more. If you want more, please let me know. If there's anything I could do better, please let me know. And I hope to see you guys rocking the new killer, and I hope that you have fun as you go. As always, everybody, stay silly. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.